Welcome to the Flu Talk 2016. Are you ready? Yeah. All right. So we are going to have a good time today. For the last several weeks, I've been telling you guys, if you're a patient in my office, you get here. And we have hundreds of people who aren't here tonight, and so they'll be getting a note to go home to their parents with. But I said it because of this. I see so many people in fear. I see so many people being fearful about Zika and West Nile. I see a mosquito land on somebody, and they almost go, they pass out now from fear of mosquitoes. And so you guys are my family, and when people are speaking fear into you that's irrational, I want to destroy it. I want to draw a sword, stab it, kill it, and this is part of what tonight's all about. So tonight is about two things: making sure we eradicate the fear where it should not be, and we give you great truth, information that you can take home in a wheelbarrow and actually begin applying to your life, and will reduce, or if not completely eliminate, your chance of getting the flu this fall. Raise your hand if you'd like that.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. So that's why we're here. We're also going to have some fun. Raise your hand if you'd like to have some fun.
Yeah.
Me too. This is the greatest group in the world to have fun with. Let me start with this. I want to eradicate fear. It's one of the big things tonight. Went to Boohoo breakfast with my kids, or actually with my wife, about the kids. We started school, okay? My son started senior year. My daughter started first grade. It's weird. It's a weird thing when you have a senior and a first grader. But we're talking about, the guy that was speaking to us was the principal for the last 14 years. And the guy is brilliant. He runs a Christian school. And he was talking about how important it is to get the fundamental truths into our kids before they go off to college. Because there's just a lot of crazy thinking at college, and it'll bombard some of the truths that they've known, that we've taught them as a family, and you better get it into them now. Got it? And he was talking about how the kindergartens and first graders were learning the fundamental truths. And he was talking about math, right? Remember this guy? Yeah. Sorry, I can't do that, but like if you look at math, if I line up 5 apples, right? Guess how many apples there are?
5.
And if you count them again, guess how many there are going to be? And if you take away 1, how many is there going to be? If you add 1 back, how many is there going to be? It will always be that way. It's not a relative thing. Numbers are numbers. 5 is always what? 5. 5 is always 5. Guess how many primary colors there are?
3.
There's 3 primary. If you didn't know, yellow, blue, and red. There's 3. And guess how many there'll be next week?
3.
Guess how many will be the next year? 100 years from now, guess how many primary colors there'll be? But you're living in a world that is not living by relativistic or by absolutes anymore, more relativity. People are getting confused. Does it make sense? There's not 2 bathrooms anymore. You see where I'm going with this, right? Someone just wrote a book and there's 30 different genders. No, there's not. There's 2. Check the plumbing. There's 2 genders. But here's the point. We're living in a world that doesn't make sense. And the more that you live in a world that doesn't make sense, there are more things that will seem right because more and more people believe in them. But just because more and more people believe in them doesn't mean that they're right. Are you with me?
Yes.
The reason that this talk is so important is because if you don't know what you should know, what you should know, what you should know, when your storm comes, and not to be a bringer of bad news, everybody's got a storm coming. Can you believe that? When your storm comes, if you are not grounded, if you have not anchored yourself with truth, when your storm comes, you will be disanchored. You will be in the high seas, the winds and the storm, and you will be grasping for anything that you can for solidarity to get back on firm ground. And what people end up grabbing to when things are bad like that is usually what the majority thinks. And I can tell you, like Mark Twain says, if you ever find yourself on the side of majority, pause and reflect. Can you see that? Because you need absolute truth. What does this lead us to? It leads us to where we're at today. Do you think our health's getting better or worse? Worse. It's getting way worse. I mean, listen to me. They had to rename adult onset diabetes to type 2. Why did they rename it?
Because it wasn't adults anymore.
It's not adults anymore. They had to rename it because so many children, hundreds of thousands of children, get adult onset diabetes. So they had to name it. So there's no such thing as adult diabetes onset. It's just type 2, right? I mean, obesity increased 600% in the last decade. There are more children with asthma and allergies right now than there's not. Do you know there's more children on 2 or more medications a day than there's not now? We take 75% of the world's drugs, and we're 5% of the world population. The number 1 cause of death in children right now, past accidents, the number 1 cause after accidents, cancer. Like it was never like that. We are not heading in the right direction. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And listen, it's worse than you think. It's worse than some guy charismatically rambling at you right now. It is a scary, horrible direction that we're headed. The problem with it is you don't need to be scared if you understand fundamental truths and you abide by those. The problem with it is people live relative to their neighbor. Right? Well, I'm eating pretty good. Based on what? On the fact that your neighbor goes to McDonald's 7 times a week? It's like I literally had someone tell me they eat pretty good. They go out like 3 or 4 times a week to fast food, but they eat pretty good. I'm like, everything is relativistic now. Does it make sense? Yes. There are absolutes. Let's talk about some absolutes. How about this? Here's an absolute. Here's a myth. Great example. You've been taught this. When I was a kid, if you're my age or older, when you had a fever, guess what the doctor told you to do when you called?
Reduce it.
No. If you're my age or older, they told you just watch them, give them lots of fluids, let them sleep, they'll be just fine. That's what pediatricians told you. And then through, quote, research, right, because everybody likes the studies. We love double-blind studies to prove everything, don't we? And guess who paid for those studies? Bayer Aspirin did, and they said that it'll cause what damage? Brain damage. And so now I have young mothers who end up having children. I just talked one today, and her children had fevers. It was last weekend or weekend before she was out of town, and she immediately, like an emergency, like someone was bleeding to death, rushed them where? To the emergency room for 103.5 fever, because it causes brain damage. She couldn't get it down with Tylenol. The point I make is, the myth is that fevers are bad. But do you know what the American Academy of Pediatrics says? It says, don't bring it down. You'll make them sick longer because fevers have a reason. Here's a fundamental truth. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
That your body, when it has a fever, and almost 100% of the time, it's doing the right thing at the right time for your body to get over what it has. I know how you feel. Raise your hand if you've had a 103 fever in the last couple, 2-3 years, right? Or the last 5 or 10. How did it feel? How did it feel? Horrible. I am death's door sick. But watch this. If your body is healthy enough to get 103 fever, that is not a bad thing. That is a great thing. The problem with it, if you feel bad, then you consider that you're what? Sick. Does that make sense? If you have a fever, does it necessarily mean that you're sick? No, your body's doing the right thing. What is health? Health is proper function. That's what the World Health Organization says. So if it's functioning right, that's what you want. So what's the absolute truth here? Here it is. You ready? If you're taking notes, write it down. My body is healing all the time. You don't have to have a cut. Your body is always healing all the time, right? If you have a snotty nose, my body is healing all the time. Now, you can have situations that will keep you in a circular pattern longer. That's when you talk to us. But I'm going to tell you this. You always try to work with the body and not what? And not against it. It always works better off. I'm telling you, you'll be better off every single time working with the body rather than against it. Do you hear me?
Yes.
That's an absolute truth. But if you look, what has led to this type of thinking? Irrational, fear-based stuff on symptoms. It's led people to literally leave their critical thinking behind and listen and accept whatever they hear. For instance, 40 years ago, what did they do for people who had cancer who overcame cancer? So they got diagnosed, they got over cancer, however they got there. Let's not talk about that part yet. What'd they do? Great. They said, hallelujah, gave you a hug and sent you home. Guess what they do for you now if you get over cancer? They give you a drug, like a tamoxifen or something, and they have you take that orally every day for 5 years. And as of last week, the recommendation is 10 now. Tamoxifen, do you know what that is? That's a chemotherapy drug. It's oral. They're going to give you chemotherapy. Now watch this. I'm talking about a mindset here. Just stay with me. Tamoxifen, guess what it does? It causes cancer.
Wow.
It's one of the side effects. It's carcinogenic, tumorigenic, and it causes cancer. So what it's done is people took their critical thinking, set it in a box, put it under their bed, went to their doctor, and their doctor said, take this drug. Since you had cancer, to keep it from coming back, we're going to give you a drug that causes cancer. I want you to take it every day by mouth for the next 5 years. Oh, and now, as of last week, next 10. Do you think that makes sense? Like if you lived on another planet and you came here and they said that, would that make sense to you? It wouldn't make sense. How about this? What about blood pressure? If your blood pressure goes up, if you're scared, would that be normal?
Yes.
Yeah, if your blood pressure went up because you're in pain, right? It would go up. It was normal. If you were nervous in a doctor's office, would it go up? And would that be normal? Yes. But let's say you're unhealthy and your blood pressure is high, right? Okay. Well, what would be the solution to that? Just get what again? healthy, but something along the way, they asked us to take this out, put it in a box underneath our bed, go back to the doctor, and they created a drug made from the snake venom of a South American pit viper, and they asked you to swallow snake venom, one of 12 different types of snake venom. There are 12 different blood pressure meds, and that kills your blood, thins it, and now your blood pressure goes down, and so now you're better. Other than the fact that your living blood heals from the death that you caused it, and now, if you don't take it the next day, what happens to your blood pressure? Goes up again. I'm just talking about mindset. Does it make sense to take snake venom to kill your blood to fix blood pressure? What makes more sense is to get healthy again. But if you live in a world like this and everybody does it, then you would like sit back and go, well, but my doctor said and my pastor does it, and you see where I'm going with this? What I want you to do is, I want you to live in such an accordance and have an understanding of truth so fundamental in your life that you don't have to necessarily ask me the questions. I want you to. Most of you guys don't text me or ask me enough. But the point is that someone asks you if a new drug comes out, and they say, well, we're thinking about this new thing, and it messes with your genes, and listen, it's worked out in 98% of the cases. What do you think about it? The first thing in your mind is, it doesn't make sense that I could not change my diet, not change anything, have a problem created by my lifestyle, and just take something from outside in and fix it. That's the first thing that would go through your mind, wouldn't it? If it's not, then I would have to suggest to you that you've taken this, put it in a box, slid it under there, and you're being led by relativistic thinking, but usually is what is the person who is most confident. And our oncologist is confident. Yes, but there are absolute truths. This has led us to stuff like this. Remember this one? Remember this? Yeah. How many people died of the swine flu? Do you remember? Almost nobody did. That's why you don't remember. It was supposed to kill millions of people. This is it. This is the big one. This is the big one. My sister's an epidemiologist, and she's awesome too. Lieutenant Commander. Seriously, she's awesome. Point is, she thought this was going to be horrible. Everybody needs, listen, mom, dad, babies, children, neighbors, pastors, everybody needs to get their swine flu vaccine. The problem with it is, they ranked it from a 5 to 6, which means it's an absolute pandemic. Remember how scary that was? It's going to be scary, scary, scary. How bad was it? It was nothing, right? How about this one? Remember this one? Oh, yeah. West Nile. What does it say about West Nile? If you look up West Nile, in the United States government CDC website, it says 80% of the people who get infected with West Nile have no symptoms. They don't even know they had it, right? That's how seriously bad it is. You know who dies of West Nile? Somebody who was extremely sick, and what killed them was not West Nile. It killed whatever they were sick, really, really sick from, and then that was just the straw on the camel's back. You're blaming the straw, and yet the camel was shot 50 times, and now you're going to blame the straw because that's what caused them to break down and fall over. Right? Does it make sense? How about this one? Remember this one? Yeah. This is the current one. Yeah. Hold on to your heads, babies and pregnant people. Right? Now, what does the CDC say about this one? 80% of people who get Zika virus will never know it. It is a mild, very mild case viral of Dengue flu, basically. That's it. Does it make sense? There is nothing, listen, I want to eradicate, I want to draw a sword verbally on this. There is nothing to be afraid about with Zika. Does it make sense? Yes. And I want to really nail it home for you. So I want you to watch this, okay? I put this on my Facebook page. If you've never seen it, I want you to watch this video. Can you see that there's not an issue here? Now, what happened was they made this huge leap of faith to say that it was Zika when there's never been birth defects associated with Zika. Zika is nothing to be afraid of. And so they made this huge leap, and all of the doctors in Brazil were on the same page, and they all linked it to the pesticide and larvicide that they put in the water, pyroproxyfen, okay, which does cause birth defects. And actually, if you take frogs and fish and bats and dogs and things like this, and you expose them to it, they do have birth defects like this. Something to think about. So what happened was they came together and said, listen, we need to get some research out proving that Zika causes birth defects. So they created a paper after they already named it, just so you know, and they came up with a paper that quote unquote proves that Zika causes microencephaly. So one more video. That should be very, very important to you, okay? And let me tell you why. They're not looking for anything else, and the reason they're not is because it supports their narrative. And why do they have a narrative that they're trying to get out there? Well, and again, not to be the tin hat wearing conspiracy theorist, but I can tell you, they already have created a vaccine for Zika. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Yes, it's already in the pipeline. And when it comes out, how much research do you think will be done on it? Nothing. And as a result of the 21st Century Cures Act passed by the United States government, they don't have to do any research at all. It's best guess analysis that's just like, well, we think it'll do this. Great. And guess how much liability there is if they kill 100,000 people with it? Zero. Not one person can sue them. Did you get that? So the reason this is so important for me to get this is when you see something coming down the pike this fall about the flu or Zika or West Nile or if a mosquito lands on you, the last thing I want you to do is freak out. Got it?
Yes.
God did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. Just because I was a pastor, just because I believe in Jesus Christ and because I can quote Scripture does not make me a weird person that's just all religious and I don't believe in science. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, there is a spirit in you that should not be in fear. Got it?
Yes.
Period. Worst thing that happens is you died today, you get to go home. But the point is, you should not be in fear of any of this. Got it?
Yes.
Make sense? Everybody with me?
Yes.
But let's talk about what we came here to talk about. Let's talk about the flu, okay? Very simple. This is not hard, and I don't want you to be afraid of it. If you've had the flu, you might be a little bit, because it was bad, right? But the flu is a viral respiratory illness. Why do I underline viral? Because guess what they give you if you go in to see them? An antibiotic. If it's viral, do antibiotics treat viral? No, they don't, but 9 out of 10 doctors still give you it. Does it make sense? And just so I'm clear, it takes you about 18 months to recover from one round of antibiotics, and that's if you're healthy and you took it for dental issues. And so it takes 18 months just to get over one round. I think you should be doing everything in your power not to take an antibiotic. And it's linked to increased cancer rates. But what else about it? It's often confused with the common cold. I would suggest to you there are as many people diagnosed with the flu, and it goes down for statistics, during the flu season with the cold that was confused for the flu. If you got achiness and a fever and you don't feel very good, they're going to say you got the flu. That makes sense? Even though it's not. You're contagious 1 day prior and 7 days after symptoms begin. Flu season's October to March. Peaks in February. Got it? So February is the peak. Why am I talking to you about this in August? I had somebody go, why are you doing a flu talk in the summertime? When's the best time to start getting yourself bolstered up? Before. Some of you guys are going to come in and you have a snotty nose and you're run down and you've been eating crappy for the holidays. And you're like, what can I do to get my immune system up? I'm going to say, well, you go back in time, come in, go to the flu talk that we did in August, start doing everything, right? 2 to 5 days missed work. This is a big deal for some of you guys. Some of you guys, if you missed 5 days of work, you'd be maybe looking for another job. And this is very, very important. I want to make sure nobody misses work. But so the flu, what about the flu season? Why is the flu season the flu season? Anybody? Any guesses?
Lack of vitamin D.
Lack of vitamin D is a huge one. Let's just go through a couple of them. During the winter months, people spend more time indoors with windows sealed, which means they're breathing dry, warm air, things are dried out. What's your house smell like the first time you turn your heater on? Burns all that stuff off, and you usually get a sore throat, yes or no? Yes. Usually get a sore throat. Why? And it's because it burns that stuff off, and you're breathing anything and everything that hits that heater, and it goes right in because it's all warm. Make sense? Which is why when you turn your heater on this year, make sure you've already changed your filters, turn it on, and what? Get out. Got it? And let it run for a little while. Everybody with me? Yes?
Yes.
Go like this. Good. All right, let's have fun. Second thing, again, lower vitamin D, but not just vitamin D, also melatonin. Also, the darker your skin is, the more sunlight you need. Did you get that? Some of you guys that are really, really dark, you're in trouble in the fall. You better figure this thing out. Got it? Yes. Thank you, P. All right. What's the third one? Nutrition during the holiday months. Here's the thing. Holidays, there are really only about 4 to 6 holidays total in the year. But if you add up the time that you're with family here and family there and family here, you bought the candy for Halloween and you kept on, eating on it for a week. They still had some at the bank. Like Thanksgiving, you ate leftovers and pie leftovers, and it turns into about 6-8 weeks of holidays if you add them all up. So you're looking at a good fifth of the year sometimes of eating crappy food and having a horrible lifestyle. That's not the way it's intended, okay? But this is another reason why it does. Now, why does it peak? It peaks because this type of lifestyle doesn't catch you the first day, right? Of no sunshine, living inside, eating crappy food. Some of you guys don't get as many workouts in the fall when it's really, really cold. You don't want to get out. And so guess what? It doesn't get you the first week, even the first month. But you live like this, guess what happens to your immune system? It does what? It goes down until finally it's down, but I feel fine, and somebody's got a virus around you, and they cough or sneeze, and then you get it. And you're like, well, see, what caused it? The virus. The virus didn't cause you to get sick. A person whose immune system is down gets sick. I could lick every hand in here, every adjustment, and that's not a joke. And one of these days, I probably will just to prove it, as gross as that is. And I will not get sick. Just if you go to the bathroom first, please wash your hand. But the point is, I am not worried about germs. Why? It's because we live this way all the time. Raise your hand if you'd like to learn these steps so you don't have to worry about the flu this fall. Okay, so let's get into it, okay? What's in a vaccine, okay? First thing we're going to talk about is just don't get a, what? Flu shot. First of all, you are injected with some of those deadly poisons, formaldehyde, aluminum, mercury, phenol, borax, ethylene glycols, dyes, acetone, latex, MSG, glycerol, polysorbic 80, and sorbitol. And now guess what? What's crazy is I have somebody who's very, 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 I don't want to say spiritual. They love Jesus, okay? But they're very, very pro-vaccine. Very, very for it. And just so you know, the majority of all vaccines now include aborted fetal tissue, because it makes your immune system just go nuts, and it rises the titers of antibodies so high, it looks like the vaccine works. Okay, that's how they do that. But here's the thing, you cannot tell me that you're pro-life and against Planned Parenthood chopping up babies and selling them. You cannot tell me that you're pro-life and you're pro-vaccine in the same breath. You can't tell me that. And how it is, you would somehow believe that injecting dead babies into your bloodstream makes you healthier somehow or protects you, is doing this, putting it in the box, putting it under the bed, and believing what you're told. Got it? Does that make sense? Okay, so again, aborted baby fetal tissue, and somebody just argued with me all day long, like, I'm not making this stuff up. It says HEK293 cell lines from a 14-week-old little boy, and they harvested his kidneys, and they keep growing them in vitro, and they keep using them.
Stem cells, because that's actually from the blood.
Well, it's literally from tissue. Yeah. So anyway, I thought you might want to know it. Also, something of note, I'm trying not to get into too many childhood vaccine things, but right now the United States government says that it's only safe to drink 25 micrograms, which is not a lot, of mercury in water. In fact, they said no amount of mercury is safe, but as far as setting a limit, 25 micrograms is the limit. And guess what an 18-month-old baby will get if you do all the recommended vaccines? Almost 5,000 micrograms of mercury. Did you get that? You may think that's safe. Anybody at all think that's safe to put that much mercury right into your bloodstream? So, it's just the most crazy argument. And it doesn't even count the drops they get in their eyes when they're born or the vitamin K shot. The drops you get in your eyes, they have 100 micrograms of mercury. The vitamin K shot you thought was just vitamin K also has 200 micrograms of mercury. So you get 300 micrograms of mercury even before you get the recommended what? Hep B vaccine, which, by the way, unless you have hepatitis B, you don't need it, because I doubt there's only two ways that you can get Hep B, and that is from IV drug use and sexual contact. And unless your baby's having sex or having IV drug use anytime soon, your baby doesn't need it. But what ends up happening is you get 250 to 400 micrograms of mercury from that. So you're looking at 550 to 800 micrograms of mercury within the first hour of life. Do you think that might have something to do with something? Anybody else? Yeah. Right? And it sensitizes them to it, and you wonder why so many kids start having the reactions when you give them 8 at a time, 12 at a time. Now, let's just get through this. Now, I didn't want to get into childhood vaccines, but you need to know it's not what it used to. If you're my age, you got 6.
What's the purpose?
Purpose of what?
The purpose of the mercury?
Mercury thimerosal is in there because it's so deadly that no bacteria or virus can live in the presence of mercury. It kills everything, including you. So they put it in there because originally there was multi-stick bottles, and so I would go in, stick, come out, and I never have to worry about it because there's nothing that could grow there anyway, right? But they still put it in there. Now they put it in there because it makes your immune system go so crazy because it's so toxic that getting your immune system to go crazy is why all is in there. So why would they put borax in there? Why would they put aluminum in there? And it's because an adjuvant is something that causes your immune system to go crazy, have a higher titer rate so they can say that the vaccine's working. Right now, I just want you to see it, how many you actually get now. This is taken just as recently. But let me say this. It's about the narrative. Everybody say the narrative. Come on. The narrative. It's about the narrative. In fact, you're starting to slow down a little bit. Right here. Watch your head. Good. All right. There it is. That's for somebody right there. But listen, you're supposed to grab that. I mean, that's like $36. You just grab onto that. I thought there'd be like people jumping on each other. So you guys are way too nice in that whole area right there. I'm sorry, but I would have been throwing bones. And so, yeah, that's true. Yeah, David's like, I've had enough hits right here. I'm good. I'm in the back. I will provide helmets next time, David. But I wanted to tell you about the narrative. Listen, so it's about fear. It's about fear. If I can get enough people in fear, I can control everybody. Yeah. The point is, do you guys remember the thing in Disney? Remember Disney, the measles outbreak, 2014, that supposedly was started by a non-vaccinated kid? That was all the narrative. Do you know there's a test called a reverse transcriptase RNA test? They can test you if you have measles and to see if it's vaccine strain measles or if it's wild measles. They literally can tell. And all those kids, they could have done just one test, and it's not that expensive, and they could have told you whether it was caused by a vaccinated child or an unvaccinated child, just like this. Did they do the test? Do you know why they didn't do the test? It doesn't support what? The narrative, the story that they're telling, right? In fact, if you remember when that happened, people were nuts. I mean, they was on every news channel. They were talking about people that didn't vaccinate their kids are endangering the lives of babies. And right? Remember that? I mean, I was like, wow, people are hating us right now. It's horrible. There were 644 cases of the measles that year. It was the biggest measles outbreak. They called it an outbreak. It was horrible, 644 cases, right? I mean, I see 644 patient visits in a week on with my eyes closed. But watch this. Out of all those patients, because this is what's really all about, right? People die with measles, right? I mean, cancer patients, immune-compromised people. Guess how many people died with the biggest outbreak in decades in the United States? Guess how many people died? Zero. Not one. And yet they went on there to say that, listen, if you don't vaccinate your kids, you are absolutely the worst parent ever, right?
Yes.
It's all about the narrative. What's that? We all, listen, when my son had the measles, my daughter was born, she was 2 days old. Now, I don't believe in being fearful, but I also believe in being smart. A 2-day-old baby being around somebody with measles is probably not the smartest thing. Would you agree? Yeah. So we shipped my son off to my parents' house with a brand new baby at the house, which is kind of cool, by the way. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for doing that. But watch this. Guess what they wanted to do? They found out that there was somebody with measles there. What did you do? If you're older than my age, guess what you did when you had chicken pox or measles? Everybody came to your house. You had a measles party or chicken pox party, so you got it done and you were done. You had a fever for, you're laughing because it's true. You had fever for 6 hours, and then you had little red dots for like 12, and then you were done with it. And guess what? You had lifetime immunity. Did you see that? So, but here's the thing. Everybody has forgotten. In fact, I put something on YouTube a while back, and they had things about chickenpox parties and measles parties with like the Leave It to Beaver family and all that stuff, because the shows had it, because it was just nobody ever worried about it. Now you go into a pediatrics office and they have something about measles, death, child dies of measles, and all this stuff. Nobody dies of measles. Nobody dies. It's just part of what? The narrative. Now, let me ask you this. Why do you think that narrative is so important? For instance, you think it's about children's health, you think it's about money. Now, I don't want to be the conspiracy theorist on this. Just listen it out. And you make your own decision, okay? When they get one vaccine added to the regular recommended vaccine schedule, how much money do you think they can make if they just get one vaccine added to the schedule? Anybody? A millions? 100 billions? Watch this. $3.3 billion if they just get one vaccine added to the recommended schedule. And guess how many vaccines I got in the last 2 months? Two. $6.6 billion they just made like this. That narrative's working. And guess what? Because they don't have any liability whatsoever, you cannot sue them, and they're mandated, right? Especially in California. Someone sent me a picture of hundreds of school kids getting turned back, and they can't go to school tomorrow because they didn't have their update on vaccines. And the news channels are showing it, and they're making the parents that don't vaccinate their kids are like, they're endangering other children and yada, 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 right? It's part of the narrative. Now watch this. There's 271 vaccines currently being researched right now to pass into law so that you and your children have to have them. Vaccines for headaches, vaccines for smoking, vaccines for you name it. And why vaccines instead of drugs now? Because if you take a vaccine and it kills you, what do? I have nothing. Now again, I'm getting way off the track. I don't want to go long. So can I move on? You guys good? Let's go into the flu. Okay, here we go. Actually, one of the things someone asked me is, if I don't want to vaccinate my kids, and again, some of you guys may not be there yet, please ask me some more questions, but you don't have to worry about getting into school. Does everybody know you can go to school in the state of Texas and not vaccinate your kids? Most people don't know that. All you have to do is go to the Texas Department of State Health Services online, just put affidavit request for exemption from immunizations for reason of conscience, and it's $10, and you can't print it off. They got to send it to you in the mail, so it takes 2 weeks. It takes 2 weeks, or it's up to 2 weeks. And guess what? When you take it, check off the ones you don't want, take it to a notary, they'll sign it, you'll sign it, and you hand it to any public school system nurse who didn't tell you that you could do this, and she has to take it. And do you know why it's so important to that school that you actually have your kid fully vaccinated? Do you know why? Because they get money from the state, and if your child's not vaccinated, they lose money.
Yep.
Did you get that?
Yep.
All right, so it's not about children's health. Okay, here we go. 10 action steps. Get your notes out. Here we go. Ready?
Yes.
Come on, some of you guys look tired. Let's go. Here we go. This is 14 hours here. So first of all, the flu shot doesn't work. This is the insert that comes with the flu shot. And in it, it says, there have been no controlled trials adequately demonstrating a decrease in influenza or the flu after vaccination. What does that mean? It doesn't what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. In fact, the head of the flu vaccine program for the United States government, who's now retired, went on record and said there's never been a case of flu ever prevented by the flu shot. That's the guy that ran the program, okay? Don't get a flu shot. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
Get your flu shot for free. You're going to see that everywhere. Get free groceries. Come in. There's free shots at Walgreens and CVS. Get your free flu shot. They're free. Let me tell you something. It's not free.
Somebody pay for it.
Why would insurance companies want you to get shots? Because if you're really, really sick, you will definitely make sure you have insurance. Did you get that?
Okay.
Right? Also, if you get 5 consecutive flu shots, you're 10 times more likely to have Alzheimer's. Let's say you don't have Alzheimer's. You're more likely to have dementia, depression, loss of memory, affect disorders, anxiety. Like, this is what happens when you destroy your brain from building up mercury and aluminum. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Right? All right. Second one, nerve system correction. Everybody say it. Come on.
Nerve system correction.
Listen, I spent hours in this. I geeked out. I didn't even know what to put on the slides. Like, I need like 9 slides for this. But let me just a couple of them. Can I nerd out? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Watch this. You think when you get in that table and get adjusted that you feel better. And some of you guys are like, yeah, I do feel better. But what happens to you, you can't even shake a stick at for all the things that happen inside of you that are cool. In fact, if ever you even had a sniffle, the first thing you'd think about is getting on that table to get adjusted. The studies that they did, I read all these studies that were double-blind studies, because nobody wants to, let's not even talk about it if it's not scientific, right? So, but it's double-blind studies with controls and sham adjustments versus real chiropractic adjustments. So what's a sham adjustment? You didn't really get one. So it takes out the placebo effect, but the person thought they got an adjustment, right? So these were asymptomatic patients. They didn't have any symptoms whatsoever. Right? They weren't sick, they weren't unhealthy, and they took them and they did these adjustments on them. What they found was, this McGregor found that you had an increased respiratory burst. What happens to your lungs when they increase your immune system? Respiratory burst. And then they enhanced chemoluminescence. What does that mean? When your immune cells get stimulated at a microscopic level, they actually emit light. Is that cool? Oh, yeah. And so when you get adjusted, you turn the power on. You literally, your immune cells light up. Did you know that? Is that cool? I could stop there, but that was awesome. How about this one? Brennan and Kojo, they said that your PMNs and monocytes, those are just your immune cells, are part of your immune cells. It enhances their specificity and their responses, so they actually are extremely more effective. Like, I don't know about you, but the cells that I have on the job, I want them on the job, right? So when you get adjusted, they're like, oh yeah, off to work, and they go to work, right? I'm telling you, that's what you want. Do you want that in the fall? That's what I want in the fall. Don't skip adjustments. How about this one? Alcorn documented an increase in immunoglobulins. Who's heard of like IgA, IgG, IgM infusions, immune infusions? And you're talking about immune infusions where you give people who are extremely immunocompromised, cancer patients or whatever, genetic immune disorder. So these are $8,000 to $20,000 infusions every single time. I'm going to show you a case here in just a minute. But it increases all your immunoglobulins. Guess what happens to your immunity? Shoom, goes through the roof. How about this one? 63% of the subjects had an increase in circulating B lymphocytes. And let me tell you something, a B lymphocyte, if you were a bacteria, that'd be your worst nightmare meeting one of them, because they just eat you and destroy you, and they dissolve you. B lymphocyte, you just would never want to see one. That is amazing. How about this one? This is really cool. They took HIV patients, CD4 cells. These are the ones that AIDS viruses attack, and then they make more viruses in them, and then they come out, and then there's more virus everywhere, right? CD4 cells, they kill your CD4 cells. They started adjusting these people. They weren't giving them antiviruses. They were giving them sham adjustments, controlled, nothing at all, and then the real scientific applied chiropractic adjustment. And guess what happened to their CD4 cell counts? This is documented scientific proof. Their CD4 cell counts in the patients that had specific chiropractic adjustments went up 48%. Wow. And guess what? AIDS drugs can't even do that. Did you get that? And then the people that did not get adjusted, or the people that got sham adjustments, their CD4 cell counts went down by 8%. How about that one? I don't know about you, but one of the top ways you can make sure you don't have the flu is to stay what? Healthy, adjusted, nervous supply, clean, clear, doing well. How do you know if you need that? Because something hurts? No. It's because you've got a regimented system of how you should be here, and you should stay to it. Guess what's going to happen in the fall when you have holidays and people coming?
Get visas.
Yeah, listen, I got somebody coming. My family's going to be in town. I may not make my adjustment next week. Guess what I'm going to say? Remember what I said in August? That's what I'm going to say. Listen, here's the thing. In the fall, you should probably get what? More adjustments. We actually have a big sign that says, "Get your flu adjustments here." Is it a different adjustment? I have to do it because I'm driving crazy with all these signs that say free flu shots. I'm going to say, "Get your free flu adjustment." Is there anything different in the adjustment?
No.
Is there a specific adjustment for the flu? No, it just literally gets you tied into making sure your nervous system's good again. How about this? In the 80s, the Lancet it was 95, but until 85. Science thought that the nerve supply and your immune system were two separate things. They just thought they were completely separate. There's no link in them whatsoever. And in 85, but then it was printed in Lancet in 95, they actually found that every single immune system cell you have, even the ones that are free-floating, they have receptors on them for neurotransmitters, which means your nerves directly control free-floating cells of your immune system. Did you get that? Which means if you have a high ear or a high shoulder, your neck hurts or you're having headaches because of bad neck or back or whatever else, or if you're just subluxated and you have any symptoms at all, your immune system cannot work appropriately like it should. Did you hear what I just said? Right? Is that amazing? Come on, I was geeking out by myself yesterday. Thank you, man, it was awesome. All right. So, what should this? Raise your hand if you're a guest. Come on, raise your hand if you're a guest. They're like, I'm gonna raise my hand. Come on, raise your hand. Come on, guests. So some guests in here, guests in the back, guests. Thank you right there. So the point is, if you're a guest, you may not know exactly what that should look like. So what should my spine look like, right? And some people know you're not supposed to be like this, right? You know, you're not supposed to be here or like this all the time, right? You think I'm joking? We see this as new patients. I'm not even joking. Yeah. That's crazy stuff. Your spine should look straight up and down. Make sense? Yes. Okay, good refresher for you guys. On the side view, it should have curves just like this. Got it? Should be like this. This nerve supply controls everything, and it's completely and inherently connected to the immune system. Got it? When it's in this position, got the curves, and it's straight, then your body's healthy. Got it? Now when you eat right, things get healthier. That's why we do the 5 essentials. You guys got it?
Yes.
And there's not like, this is not a menu. There's not like, I'll take a nerve system correction, and I'll take 2 sides right here, right? This is not a menu. They're all essential. Got it? Now, let me show you this. This is a good example of this. This kid came to see me. He is doing $16,000 immune infusions once a month to stay alive. The doctors told the parents, the day that you stop doing that, your son will die. And so guess what? What would you do? You would do it. And guess what? They did another mortgage on their home, another mortgage on their home. They sold their cars. They started borrowing money from everybody they knew, both parents, uncles, aunts, sisters, brothers. They borrowed money from everybody until finally there is nothing left. Now let me ask you, if your neck is supposed to look like this, and this kid's neck looks like that, is there a problem, yes or no? Yes. Now how much neck pain does he have? So they don't think that he has no neck pain whatsoever. He's 4 years old, no neck pain whatsoever. Has no spine pain, has no numbness and tingling, has no headaches, no hurting anywhere. But his neck is straight like this. Most likely from 80% of children born today have damaged the first 2 bones, so they don't develop a curve, right? So he has a curve like this, straight. Now everybody go like this with your hand. Go like this again. I want you to do it. Now, feel this. What do you feel? Relaxed. Go like this. What does it do? Tightens it. If I take your neck and do this, what's it do to your spinal cord? Tightens it. And you guys stay on phones like this all day long and wonder why you get a cold, right? So, now seriously. So this kid comes in, we start adjusting him. Watch this. That's literally 6 weeks, okay? 6 weeks. That's a 65% improvement. Guess what happened to his immune system? Did it get better or worse? Better. Guess what happened to the $16,000 immune infusions? Completely gone. went without it for 4 months, goes back because the doctors are calling their house saying, if you don't bring that kid in, we're going to call Child Protective Services. Goes in, does a blood test, and guess what they found his immune system doing on its own? Doing exactly what it should, and they had diagnosed him with a genetic immune disease that's irreversible. There's nothing you can do about it. And now he doesn't even have it. He's making these, he didn't make a certain protein from a gene sequence or something like this, and now guess what? He's making it on his own. Do you see that? Now, is that a miracle? No, you're a miracle. Yeah. There's an absolute. If you have a straight neck, you're not healthy. If you have a curve in your neck like this, you are healthier, and now we can do other essentials. Does it make sense with me? Yes. Right? Yes. Now, it's just that simple. It is. There's nothing more complicated to the nurse like that. And listen, I'm going to see each of you very soon, sometime, and we're going to have a progress evaluation. They're going to ask you, one of the questions is, are you doing your stuff where? At home. And some of you guys are going, well, I'm trying to, and I'm, by goodness, and listen, if I was an oncologist and I told you that you had breast cancer or colon cancer today, and it was infiltrating other organs, and this was your way out, you wouldn't even bat an eye. Some of you guys, well, I can't get up early enough and do them. I forget to do it. The reason that you don't is because it's not a big enough priority in your life. If you hurt, and this was the way out of it, you do it until you stopped what? Hurting. Here's the problem with this. Everybody listen to me very clearly. I never want to be the person that's spreading fear. I could very easily go in that room with you and go, see that straight neck? That causes cancer disease. You're going to die unless you do this. And actually, the research shows you die 15 years sooner. But I don't want to be the guy. I think fear is I think it's as bad as cancer is by itself. But I run this weird line sometimes about motivating you with hope, because fear is a much easier, quicker way to get you to do something. But I think hope is a much more powerful force. And the problem with it is, if you hurt long enough or you feel good long enough, then the biggest enemy of great is okay. And guess what? I'm doing good enough. Listen, don't listen. The devil wants you not to do anything. In fact, he's okay with you doing some, but not enough. And so listen, just get back to it. Got it? Makes sense? If you're not doing it, today's your day to start. Got it? So that's it right there. Now, guess if you're here. I want to make sure every single person that's a guest in the office, if you've never had your spine ever checked with a physical exam and then x-rays if needed, we want to make sure that you get that. Where's my team? Right there. They're going to make sure you get it. This right here is your way to make an appointment. Now, what's weird is the devil won on this, and we had almost 50 guests signed up for tonight. We had 120 people, and there may be 70 of you here right now. And so, like, the rain got people and whatever else. Listen, those guests can come to dinner. Got it? So get those guests to dinner. But if you're a guest here tonight, I want you to sign this up. So name, age, I'm a guest of because I want to thank somebody. Contact number and email. I want you to write that down, not because I want to sell you something, guests, because the most important thing you have is what? Time, and I don't want to ever waste it. If we need to change that appointment, we want to call you or change it. Okay, makes sense? Got it? So fill that out. Also, who are these names for?
Friends.
Familia, right there. My children went to school this morning, and I was so proud to send them to school. They go to a great school, but when they left this morning for school, I know that their immune system and their nerve supply was 100% of what I could make it. And I can tell you, I would never send my kids off into this world to make them get in and around the craziness from stuff that they spray on you to the craziness that goes on, the other kids that are sloughing viruses who were vaccinated. I mean, just all kind of stuff. My kids, I want to send them out with every opportunity they could get. And I think if you're a parent, that makes sense. And if you've got kids that have never been chucked for subluxation, we want to make sure they're scheduled. Does that make sense? Got it? You guys with me? Okay, so make sure you do that. Also, they're going to make sure that you circle one day that works for you, guests. We opened up lots of appointments for this, so we want to make sure that you guys get one of those. So circle a date that works for you. Go ahead and start doing that now. And guys, if you would, just see some of the guests. They'll get that as we go through. You guys ready to move on? All right, number 3, here we go. Number 3, megadose on vitamin D. First thing I'll ever tell you, if you are decreased in your immunity, if you're run down or you're fighting something off, is megadose on vitamin D. Why are you deficient in the wintertime? Come on.
No sun.
No sunshine, okay? So you don't get it, and you're not a polar bear, like sunbathing nude outside, so please don't do that. But let's just talk about it. Here is what your vitamin D should be based on your doctor, okay? This chart says it should be right there, so it should be 30, okay? What those colors are are where diseases are prevented on vitamin D. So if you look, ovarian cancer, okay, or even breast cancer, 67% of breast cancers are preventable just with having a vitamin D that are 65. Did you get that?
Wow.
Right? But watch this, 65. What does your doctor say yours should be? Should be 30. And you can go through fractures, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, colon cancer, ovarian, all cancers combined. All the good stuff is up here. The only thing that you'll prevent by having the recommended amount that your doctor says is rickets. Did you get that? Right? So don't think that yours should be 30. It should be over 68. You want it to be 65 to 90. Got it? That's what it should be. Now, something else. How do you know what yours is? Most of you guys have never had your vitamin D tested ever. So you don't have to go to the doctor. You don't have to go to the lab. You can do your vitamin D test just like this with a little finger prick and send it off, and they're going to give you your exact level. Do you think that might be important to know?
Yes.
Okay? I want to make sure you guys get a test for vitamin D. Got it?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, vitamin D. Sugar. Everybody say sugar.
Sugar.
If you're here with your spouse, look at your spouse, say sugar. Listen, every bit of sugar will increase your likelihood of being sick this fall between now and then. You also cannot exercise off bad nutrition. You can't eat horribly and say, well, I'm going to go run 5 miles tomorrow, so it'll be just fine. You cannot exercise it off either. It wrecks your immune system, causes damage. It also actually causes long-term immune system damage, which people don't know. And it stops phagocytosis for hours. Did you get that? It means that part of your immune system just says, nope, I'm done. I'm going to sit down for a couple hours. I don't know about you, but I don't want any part of my immune system stopping for hours. And guess what this is? This is not just you eating a lollipop or a piece of apple pie. This is when you took that big glass of orange juice. And it tastes good. Oh, yeah. You know what that is? That's all sugar. It was so much, because guess what? It took like 6 or 8 oranges to get that much orange juice. And there's so much natural sugar in there, your blood sugar goes through the roof, and your phagocytosis just goes, I'm out. Got it? So it's hidden sugar. Okay? So no sugar. That's number 4. Say no sugar.
No sugar.
Number 5. Get more rest. The days are shorter. Your body is made to go with circadian rhythm with the sun, which means when the days are shorter and the nights are longer, you need more what? Sleep. But because we have these wonderful things called lights, we could work all night if we want to, right? Stay up all night. And we actually have this thing, if you turn away from it and look at the wall in the dark, that blinks at our eyes constantly. What's it called? The TV, right? And it will actually just stimulate you, and you can sit up all night watching TV, right? Look at this, like my spouse right there. Right, but watch this. It's one of the reasons people are really sick. Now listen, I wanted to go through a lot more on sleep. There actually, if you go to YouTube, our YouTube channel, Herb Family Wellness, if you're on the internet now, you're looking at it, you can go find it. It's the sleep workshop. Get on there and watch it. Watch it at your leisure. You can watch it on your smartphone or your laptop or your iPad or something like this. But watch that sleep workshop. It'll really help you, I promise. Got it? Okay? So get more rest. Number 5. Number 6. Peace management. Now, a lot of people want to talk about stress management, right? But there's no such thing as stress management. You can't manage the lack of anything. If I don't have any money in my pockets, can I manage money? No. Right, so you can't manage the lack of something. Stress is the lack of peace. Okay, so would you get from, now I'm not talking about when this comes in the fall, start figuring this out. You figure it out right now, all of this. Guess what? No sugar starts when?
Now.
Now. Got it? Now, you can't manage stress. You have to eliminate peace breakers. Now, I didn't say don't let your family come see you, right? Or your spouse's family come see you. Oh, dang it. He said it. What I'm saying is you need to limit your exposure. You can't get rid of stress. It's going to be there. But you need to limit your exposure to it, okay? There are some people in your life that when you see their name come up on the caller ID, you might just not answer the phone. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
There's nobody looking at you. They can just see the back of your head. Create time for yourself. This is something that we've done on, and I do it early. Running 5 corporations, having 3 kids, and a wife that does more than me. The only time I could really get for myself was really early. So we started getting up at 4:41, and we're working out by 5. And then we do CrossFit 3 days a week, and then we run 3 days a week, or 4 days a week if you're Kimberly. But that's my time for me. I enjoy Dr. Russ's, here, but he and I have a really good time together, and he gives me a hard time, and I give him a hard time. We go to CrossFit together, but I've been running now, and I run by myself. I put on my headphones, and I just go, and it's my time. I pray, and I'm just with the Lord, and I'm getting stuff out, and it's a good time for me. It builds me up. Can you see, if I'm giving to you guys all day, that might be an important thing? Well, guess what you do? You may not adjust a couple hundred people a day, but you give all day long. And you know what? You can't give out of an empty cup. You ever heard that? Right? So you need to build yourself up. Start a habit that does that, okay? Whether it's time for yourself or something that you do. Some of you guys said somebody come in the other day just loves to knit. And she's a younger lady. She loves to knit. And she goes, yeah, I just love to knit. It's just something it relaxes her. I don't care what it is. Just figure out something that you like to do that builds you up and start it as a habit. What does a habit mean? You do it what? Habitually. Yeah, just do it routinely, right? Easy stuff. And what's the last thing? Say it.
Be consistent.
Be consistent. Be consistent.
Yes.
Write that down. All right, number 7. People ask me, do I have to stay on this all year long, every day? And the answer is no, you don't. But guess when the most important time to take it is?
Now.
In the fall, and as you get into the fall. And the reason it's more important to take it now, between now and October, is right now. Take it now. And be in a hurry to take it. Then the reason is because you have to get your glutathione and your antioxidant bank high before you get to the holidays. You hear me?
Yes.
And it takes a little while to do that. If you're not taking it right now, start taking it now. Got it? Yeah, listen, if there was something that cost, $300 or $400 for the whole year, and you could increase your glutathione bank, you would do it.
Yes.
Like if there's one place you could go for the weekend for 2 days and it was $400 and it increased, like you would do it. You wouldn't even think about it. That's what this is, okay? But make sure you start it now. Got it? And there's nothing, people go, well, there's another product. No, there's not. And I wish I had more time to tell you. Just take it. Got it? It eliminates things and increases it. Now this is it. Now, we're not into winter just yet. We're still in the summer. Now, the days are getting cooler and there's craziness out there, but listen to me. Get as much sun as you possibly can. When it's not sub-zero weather outside, guess where I want you to eat lunch? Outside. You don't have to take your top off, but try to get some sun exposure, okay? So get out in the sun. Get out in the sun, okay? Now, here's something, again, another geek moment, but check it out. There are at least 1,000 different genes governing virtually every tissue in the body are now thought to be regulated by, guess what? Vitamin D. At least 1,000 that we know of. Which means if you don't have vitamin D high enough, which is, again, why you're going to take vitamin D. You're going to start vitamin D right now, not necessarily megadose, but start taking it now if you're not taking it. But that's why you take it. Does it make sense?
Yes.
You take it. It's also why God gave us the sun. People go, well, I can't go outside. I got skin cancer. No, go outside. I guarantee it's better that you're outside. Okay? Now, that's number 8. Number 9. There was so much on this I didn't have time to write it, but this is what's cool. Exercise. We want to exercise multiple times a week. Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
What did I say?
Multiple times a week.
Exercise multiple times a week. Everybody go like this. Some of you guys don't ever do that even when you exercise. Seriously, you're exercising like this. You don't ever breathe hard. You need to be out of breath. Oxygen's a supplement, and you need to take as much as you possibly can. Great study. They took mice, and they put them in their cage and let them rest and relax, and they gave them lots of comfort. And they put some on a wheel and made them run for a couple hours until they were completely exhausted. And then they basically exposed them all to the flu. And a certain kind of flu it's just like we have. It just eradicates rodents. It kills them, which God made them, but it's not a bad thing, I don't think. But the point is, what happened was the ones that were really, really not doing much died. They got really bad and they died. The ones that were really, really exhausted, they died quick too. But the ones that actually had high intensity, short duration exercise, guess what happened to them? More food for me. They were good. Which means, guess what? Guess when the biggest marathon seasons are? In the fall. I love that we're doing marathons, and we may do a marathon together, but it also means let's not overdo things too much, too. It makes sense? It's also why we don't leave behind our high intensity exercise. If it's CrossFit for you, great. If it's Max T3 is that thing that you have at home you haven't opened yet? That thing at home? Right there? Right? Yeah, that shouldn't be laughed at all, right? 12 minutes, pop it in, hit play. This is your fall. You're welcome, okay? But this is awesome. So this is what it looked like. So this is risk of URTI is upper respiratory tract infection. So sedentary was here, very high, exhausted over here. And when you were here, you basically just almost never got an upper respiratory tract infection. You got it? This is why high intensity, short duration is awesome. Yep. Guess how long it takes to do that? 12 minutes. Actually, I could actually do it with you in 4. Just so you know. Just have to be really warmed up before we start. Is that right, Dr. Russ?
Right.
That's it. All right. So last but not least, what you eat. Okay? Advanced plan. Everybody say it, advanced plan. Guests who don't know what advanced plan is, that is basically where you cut the carbs, especially the processed ones. You trash the toxins so you're eating stuff that's healthy, doesn't have 26-letter words in it. And you perfect your protein so you're not getting grain-fed meats and hormone-based meats and dirty stuff like this. You're getting healthy proteins, and you freshen your fats. What does freshen your fats mean? That means you get back to healthy fats and not oxidized, hydrogenated, bad oils and crappy stuff like that. Make sense? Yes. This is the advanced plan, you guys. I had somebody the other day that came in, they got adjusted, and they said, well, I'm thinking about starting an advanced plan. How long do you think I need to do it? And I asked them, I said, how long do you think I've been doing it? And they're like, oh, Lord, I shouldn't ask that question. Right? I thought this was just something I could do for like a month or something and go back to it. Listen, there is nothing you want in your life worth having that you could do just a little and then get back to everything else. What you're doing right now has gotten you success, level of great in your marriage, your business, whatever you're at right now is because of what you've done at this current way that you're living right now. Your health, everything. You're responsible for it. Watch this. If you want something different, do something different, right? If you want to be a different weight, eat differently, exercise differently, live differently. That's why you started my office, right? Right. Okay, so guess what? This is a miracle $1 million check. You just have to cash it every day. That makes sense? Yes. So I want you to make sure you're doing the advanced plan. Guess if you don't have an advanced plan book, nutrition book, get that. Okay? Now,
Dr. Erb?
Yes.
That looks like the salad we had at Salati's today.
Salati's, huh? My son works at Salata. Did you see him? So you guys all go see my son at Salata. Good. Yeah, I love it. So my son works at Salata. Go see him. He's right down here. Actually, if you go, though, you have to give him a hard time. And maybe a tip. Not really. But, all right. So take a picture. Everybody who's taking pictures. That's the 10. Also, if you forget the 10, they're also right here. Okay? Flu action steps. So they're also right there. But this is your action steps for the flu. You take a picture. This is not something I want to be a flash in the pan. This is your life this fall. Can everybody see that? Yes. This is how you're living this fall. In fact, if any of you start to succumb to any cold or virus, guess what I'm going to do? Point you back to the 10. Are you doing this? I'm going to love on you and adjust you more. Got it? I just want to make sure that you guys know that there is really no reason to be afraid. Again, you guys are made so fearfully and wonderfully made. If you had 1 ounce of understanding of the power that you are living in, that it would really make you so excited to eat better and do great things and work out and all the rest. And some of you guys are kind of getting that. And I'm so blessed by you every day. Literally, I'm just blessed by you every single day. I have more fun taking care of you guys. Like I'm a little worried sometimes because I feel like if you really got it, you start charging me. But you know. But anyway, let's do this.
Dr. Erb,
yes, sir.
I'd like to mention that it was back in the early 50s. I was in the service, but they gave us flu shots, and I was in a hospital for 2 weeks.
Yeah, got a flu shot. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And yeah, some of you guys can attest to it. Yeah.
And I've not taken one since, and I've not had the flu.
There it is. All right, so let's pray. We're going to pray it up. Hey, wait. Let's go pray it up. You bow your heads. Father, we love you and praise you. Thank you for today. Thank you for truth. Thank you for giving us things, Father, that will change our lives, so that we can also help change the lives of others. So I ask a blessing on everybody here, on travels, on this month, and all the months the rest of this year, Father, that you would just bless us during the season, that we wouldn't have the flu, but more importantly, anything else, that we wouldn't have fear either. So, Father, we love you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. All right. Thank you, guys.